Hi, my name's Ged Walters, Golf Monthly Top 25 coach, and today I'm going to take you through 10 of my favourite drills. I use these drills on a daily basis to help golfers get the best out of their game, and we're going to go from a tee right through to the green. We're going to help you hit more fairways, strike the ball more solidly, and hold some more putts as well. Any questions, post them in the box below and the comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's take a look at 10 great drills that can help you improve your golf. Strike. It is the most important thing, especially for you guys who think you're not hitting the ball as far as you should. You need to measure whereabout on the club face you are striking, first and foremost, before you can start to solve the issue. So what you need is something to measure. Bit of dry shampoo is something that I would use. Spraying it on the face so you leave a nice powdery residue on the face there. When you make your swing, you will get an instant impact location of where the ball has made contact with the club face. So you can measure whether or not you're good at hitting the middle of the club face, and that would not be the issue of distance problems, or whether you're hitting more off center, heel and toe side. From there, you can then start to solve the issue and improve the quality and consistency of your shots. Remember, the strike is the #1 thing that you guys need to be thinking about. So I'm just going to pop this down there. I'm just going to hit a shot with the driver, and we'll have a look and see whereabout this one finds the club face. So if we have a little look on there, we can see mark clearly in towards the central location, which is great. Somewhere around there is ideal where I want to be, so I know that if the shot goes offline, it's not down to the gear effect, it's more down to something that I might have done throughout the swing. A lot of you guys out there who hit the ball with slicers will have the golf club travelling too steeply, and then the club travels across and gives that glancing blow. So when we think about it, we move the club around the body in a circle. So at the bottom, we should be drawing a semicircle on the ground in your mind with the club head. So if you imagine your arms were holding a marker pen rather than a golf club, at the bottom you would be feeling that circular motion, and you would have a circle, semicircle drawn on the bottom, down through impact and then towards the follow through. So I've got a swimming noodle on the ground just to visualize that for you. So if I was to take setup with driver, we're moving round in the circle, we're turning that circle with the body, and then at the bottom the club is moving down, coming through, impact, going round in that circle up to the finish. So imagine you're drawing semicircles on the ground, your directional control will be better, the face will be more to target with more of a solid impact rather than a glancing blow. You'll start to hit some more straighter shots. The common thing that we hear and see is people saying that they swing too fast. Well, if you're swinging it over 130 miles an hour, then I might agree with you, but if you're not swinging it anywhere near the guys you might watch on the TV, then you're definitely not swinging too fast. What you are doing is you're changing direction in the wrong order. So you're trying to hit the ball too early, you're trying to pull down with the club with hands and arms. What we really want to do is get a feeling of rotation of body, almost setting the club at the top, and then having a smooth change of direction. So here's a great drill. I want you to take your setup position, and I want you to feel that you rotate the shoulders 90 degrees, first of all. So we're going to make that rotation, so the left shoulder looks like it gets down towards where the golf ball is, central point of your stance. From there, I then want you to set the arms and the wrists, so they're going to take the club up to the top of the backswing position. Now from here, you want a smooth rotational feeling, so it's smoothly turning the lower body, getting the lead hip, leg starting to rotate around. We want to avoid little turn and then a big jerky pull, snatching down from the top. So turn the shoulders, set the club up, and then smooth turning through. Okay, if you can get that feeling and get used to it, it almost feels like a little pause at the top of the backswing. You'll start to notice a much better sequence of movements in the downswing, which is going to help you hit better shots. We want to make sure that we use the sole of the club and not the leading edge of the club. So what we need an image to look at. And what I've done here is I've drawn a box with the toe end of the club. So my goal and task is to remove the sand inside the box. Now, if I remove the sand inside the box, ball's going to come out with that cushion of sand. So I have the visual of where we want to enter, and then continuing through exit and throwing that sand out towards target. So what do I want to do? Well, I'm going to take my setup with the ball fraction forward of the central point. I'm going to wriggle my feet in just slightly, just so I can get a nice stable base. I'm going to just twist the face a little bit open, not lots open, don't want it lots open, I just want it a little bit open, just so I can start to use the back of the club and the sole in a more efficient way. That's going to help prevent the leading edge dig into the sand and slow down the momentum, which is going to help the ball stay in the bunker, because I'm not going to be able to throw that sand out as efficiently. So I've turned the face a tiny little bit, then I've taken my grip again, so I'm now holding it in that slightly open position. I've got a fraction more pressure into the left side than I have into the right, and I just want to make a nice big swing, and I just want to let my hands go down and in, so the right hand is going to work down and underneath, so I can throw that sand out nice and high and get the ball moving to target. Here we go. So there we've got nice removal of the box, the hands moved under nicely, the momentum's kept going, ball's out, sand's out, and we've got a great result. Guys, it's something that you do need to practice. If you can get somewhere where there is a practice bunker, make sure you take advantage of it, so that you can get much better at the skill of moving the right amount of sand out of the bunker, so you get better results on a golf course. One of the big problems with hitting long irons is we need a little bit of speed in the impact. Too many times I see players trying to hit sort of 3, 4 irons, and sometimes even 5 irons as well, if we want to include those. And there's just not enough speed and impact. So what I want you to imagine is that as the club comes into impact, it's like you're striking a match. It's got that sound as you go through, yeah? So if you've got that feeling going through the impact, what you'll find is that the club face, as it comes down through to the ground, it really crisply goes and strikes it nice and sharply. That sharp sound indicates that you've got speed in the right area, and you'll find you'll improve the launch and the control and the distance you start to hit your long irons. Because a lot of people will stop with 6 iron will go X distance, but then 5 iron doesn't go much further, and then sometimes 5 iron goes further than 4 iron. So we don't tend to use them. But if we've got that speed, that feel of striking the match, like striking the ground with the sole of the club, it will improve the quality and the consistency of your long iron shots. So the feeling you want to have, if I quickly make a swing here, would be that nice speed and that sound, like striking the match at the bottom. Give it a try, I'm sure it's going to help you. As you can see here, I've teed the ball up, and what I want to do is I want to take my normal setup position that I would do for the chip shot. So, maybe 8 to 10 inches width of stance, ball position fairly central, fraction of pressure onto my left side, and I want to feel a little bit more around, just so I can clip it upwards off the tee. That gives me the action that is more shallow, and the sole of the club, the bounce angle of the club is going to do a lot more work against the feeling of coming steeply down, which would hit down into the tee, snap the tee, and contact would be a little bit too high. So from there, that brings in the danger of the leading edge digging in and those chunked shots happening on the golf course. So let's give this one a go. Your feeling is a little bit more round, so a little bit more semicircular feeling, and you're just going to clip it upwards off the tee, and away we go. And from there you can see tee still in the ground, so I've clipped it really nicely, so that gives me a nice shallow angle, which means that this part of the club is doing a lot more work. As you can see there, the T mark right across the sole. So a lot more work from here, a lot less work from here, which is going to give you greater success out on the golf course and better results. A great tip and drill to practice is to get 10p, place it maybe 2 or 3 inches in front of your golf ball. And your task is to hit the 10p. That's all it is. So you make your swing, you strike the golf ball, but really what you're looking to do is to hit the 10p, and that is it. If you hit the 10p, you will be having more of a downward angle of attack, just like you would do with your irons. If you miss the 10p, that club head is traveling upwards too soon. So the bottom of the swing, the bottom of the circle is too far behind, and as you're hitting up, that's where you get the miss hits, that's where you get the low face impacts and the top shots occurring with these kind of clubs. So I've got my 10p down. I'm now going to take my setup, normal ball position as if I was hitting a long iron, and all I want to do is make a nice smooth swing with the focus on the task of actually hitting the coin. And there we go. So really good strike, coin's gone, reacting like I would hit a normal long iron. Get out there and practice this. It's going to improve dramatically your contact and consistency, and also distance as well with your hybrids. On the ground, I've got a meter rule, which you can pick up from any hardware store. I've got my ball on the end, and the task is to hit the ball along the ruler into the hole. So if my putter face is nice and square to the hole, as I come through to impact, if my speed is good, it will roll down the ruler and into the hole. If my speed is a little off, it may fall off the ruler. If the face is off, it will fall off the ruler. Now what this does is it makes the size of the target really, really small. So we've gone from 4¼ inches to about 1 inch. So the parameters of being able to hold putts after doing this drill makes life much easier. So here we go, I've got the ball in place, and I'm just going to try and roll it down the ruler and into the hole. So there we can see that's given us idea of good face. If we didn't have good face, what we tend to see would be the ball rolling off. So rolling off with an open face, or rolling off with a closed face. It doesn't take much for the ball just to disappear. Now sometimes those putts might go in the hole, but if we can get the face more accurately towards our target, you're going to hole more putts, especially those short ones, which are all important to add up in the scores. You need a little bit of blue tack, and you need a pencil. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the blue tack and we're going to put it in the middle of the club face. So we're just going to push it down there into the middle of the club face. And then we're going to get the pencil and we're going to put the pencil right in the middle. And then just push it right in there. So what you've got is your own little homemade face pointer. So from here, you can put an alignment stick on the ground, which I've got here. And if you take your setup position, face nice and square, you'll see the pencil will cover the alignment stick. Now, as you make your golf swing, as you start the takeaway, many people might see a roll in the forearms, which is going to get the pencil pointing up in this way. So that's opening up of the club face. Some people might be a little bit the other way, so the pencil's pointing a little bit more down towards the ground. And then you'll find a few people who will be a little bit more in neutral, so the pencil will be pointing directly to the wall that's facing you with the toe of the club up on the ground. Now, how does how you hold affect that? So anybody who's got a really strong grip where we can see lots of knuckles on this top hand and we're a little bit underneath here, what we'll find here is as we take the club away, the pencil will naturally be pointing more down towards the ground. That'll give us a more closed club face. From there, a lot of people don't like that, so they'll hinge the wrist in a certain way, which will change the angle that faces. So now the pencil faces probably a little bit more towards the screen there. So if we've got a little bit of this feeling, what we've got to make sure we don't do is try and roll. So if you're a strong gripper of the golf club, you want to feel and practice that not only do you keep the pencil in that point, but then you return it back towards your target in a similar place. If you rotate, you'll see how that'll affect that twister impact. If you're a palm gripper, so you've got quite a weak grip, you can't really see any knuckles there. So what happens now is, although we can get the face pointed at target, as our arms want to behave a little bit more naturally, that's where we get this rolling of the face and the pencil pointing towards the sky. Then if we don't do anything in the downswing, you can see how that affects the face being really, really open. So you've got a timing element of rotating the face back towards the target. So in an ideal world, we would be a little bit more neutral in our grip. So we'd hold it a little bit more towards the top of the fingers and the base of the palm. And you might see maybe 2.5 knuckles through there. And then your right hand or your bottom hand will hide your thumb. From here, you can be nice and controlled, knowing that the pencil is tilted a little bit down towards the ground, but not a lot. So as you were to bring the club back without any manipulation, it's very easy to present the club back to target without any twist or any manipulation as you go through. Tip is all about not topping your fairway woods. It's really, really common because we still have that idea that we want to hit up on the ball. So what happens is commonly the elbows separate. So you would feel this would happen and then the wrists would start to try and rescue the shot. So as you can see here, I've just got a resistance band. I've tied a little loop in each end to put my thumbs in. It's wrapped around my waist, just there. And then I'm taking my grip, and what I'm having to do is I'm having to fight the resistance, pulling my arms back in towards my body. So if I was to take my setup, I've got to stretch my arms out a little bit, pulling the resistance. So what's happening is I'm getting used to feeling my arms extending as I go out and down towards the ball. Now, you can make practice swings this way, or you can actually hit shots. Hitting shots is very difficult. So make some practice swings, get that feeling of extending away. And then what you want to try and do then is, once you've finished making your practice swings, if you remove the resistance band, what you'll find then is fairly easy to get your arms extended, and the task would just be to brush the ground with the sole. So you want to hear that noise. From there, you know your arms are extending a lot more, and the chances of you topping the golf ball are greater reduced. Guys, go and give it a go. Have a little practice. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of success. As always, don't forget to check out Golf Monthly's website and YouTube channel for a load more tips to help you guys play better golf.